Hello and welcome to the show. This week's FailRace versus the community, we were racing A-Class Ford SVT Cobras. Our first race would go to the Nurburgring Grand Prix circuit, and unfortunately there would be a little bit of a kerfuffle at the first turn as someone missed their braking point. I'd messed up the setting up of the lobby, had the grid set to PI, which is why I amazingly, for the first time in versus community history, wasn't starting at the back. I managed to brake myself and then had a wheel on the grass and ran a bit wide. I had a terrible start despite actually starting higher up. I think I was in 6th at the start of the race. Yeah, I quite quickly fell back, whereas this white and blue Mustang was making his way through the order, getting to the inside of the, I think it's 52 or something there, and also managed to get to the inside of a grey car that braked a little bit too soon. These cars are, I will be honest, quite ridiculous in A-Class. Even my car was built as a pure handling build. I wanted to get it under £3,000, which I did, just about. This still had 580 horsepower. That kind of gives you the idea of just how powerful some of these cars were. They're really very, very powerful for A-Class, and not the easiest things in the world to drive. My handling build car was still not the easiest thing in the world to drive. As you see up ahead, one of the white and green car there gets a big slide, and I could just slide up the inside with absolutely no problem. And the other biggest issue with this is combine difficult to drive cars with some lag, and then we have some issues. I may have ran a little bit wide. The grey car that was following me got an overtake as the white and green car was again struggling to get his vehicle stopped. I had got myself up into, I think it was 4th or 5th place at this stage, but was coming under fire from the grey Mustang as I got a little bit carried away through the corners. Just got a little bit of oversteer when you don't want it. Slowed down my run onto this next straight. The grey car was even more of a handling build than my vehicle and would manage to outdrag me. I sort of tried sniffing, having a go at the inside there, but I couldn't do it. I was too far back to really have a sensible dive, so had to concede the position. I stayed close though, and the battle up ahead of us over second place was becoming increasingly tight as we came down the start-finish straight. As I said, my car was very much a handling, but still a very fast car in a straight line. As I caught up to the back in the slipstream of the vehicle ahead, had a go at the inside. The blue car had a big dive, but he couldn't get it stopped and clattered slightly into the side of second place. Blue car coming off worse, losing both of the positions. I managed to just get the move done on the grey vehicle, but you see the lag that we were having to deal with. It was just a dodgy day for it. I had real trouble actually getting the lobby started. The dodgy day for Xbox Live, sadly. But things were still close for this fight. Second place was in a very much a straight line speed car. Just couldn't get through the turns. Ran wide on the exit. Gave me a perfect opportunity to get up the inside and get the pass done long before the next corner. Of course, it was very, very quick accelerating once it got out of the turns. But yeah, could do nothing because the grey Mustang is going to go round the outside. That's a tough place to go around the outside. I have a little sideways moment to dip a wheel on the sand and lose 2 positions as the black Mustang uses its straight line speed to fight back and get himself back up into second. I'm going for the very long way around the outside and almost make it work, just run out of grip. Managed to fend off the blue car though that was having a look up the inside as well. I've got the run off the turn and we're going to go too wide through the very fast uphill chicane in, well, not the best cars for this sort of thing. We get through there safely. Unfortunately, that lag spike there would see the end of my Mustang, killing the suspension and brakes at the front. I don't know if the grey car took any damage or whether that was just on my end. Yeah, I would drop to the back of this group with a quite a poorly Mustang, which was a shame as this was a fantastic little fight. Eventually, the black Mustang just ran out of grip, couldn't hold it around the corners and would run a little bit wide, promoting the grey vehicle up into second. Behind us, over 6th place, there was another rather interesting battle brewing between 2 very much straight line speed cars as the other white vehicle has a go at the inside, but you get to the inside there, if you can't get the move done fully, you end up on the outside for the next turn. This is a really awkward corner, this one, as the white car gets a really big slide. He does get it done around the outside, then comes back the red vehicle with all of the straight line speed, and then lag strikes and we have a humongous roll across the grass. This is the sort of race that was going on. It was a real shame because there's a very sideways sideways. That's a very fast place to go sideways through there. Not where you want to be sliding. It is a real shame because I think there could have been some really good racing with these cars. Just lag had a tendency of well, pretty much ruining everything. As the race progressed, the field just became gradually more and more spread out as broken cars kind of sort of fell away from the vehicle in front. This blue Mustang was very much a straight line speed car, but was struggling through the turns. I'm not sure I've seen a car go off there before. He was under increasing pressure from a white handling car. The white vehicles tried to get to the inside, but it is very difficult to overtake a car that has so much more acceleration and so much more straight line speed than you, because he will be so far out of range by the time you get to a corner. See the gap that the blue car has pulled despite a terrible run out of the previous corner, and they can be very, very difficult to overtake. You've just got to kind of hope that the car in front makes a mistake. That's the easiest way you're going to get past a straight line speed car, and of course in A-Class, with the amount of power that these things can have, they are very difficult to drive if you have a straight-line speed vehicle. I was thinking the white car was going to get up the inside there. All manner of lag happens on the replay. Either way, they both managed to get through, and despite it showing the white car as having a smoking engine, ignore that, because it clearly wasn't having any issues. Then the blue car just couldn't slow himself down in time through the corner, ran a bit wide, and the white car would get a fairly simple pass. The blue car's coming back at him, though, as they come down the next straight. Definitely got to be careful of that at the Nurburgring. There are a couple of long straights for these vehicles. White car covers the inside, and well, if you've got the straight line speed car that has less of the grip, you're not going around the outside at that particular point. The chicane there is actually quite a tough place to get an overtake done. Anyway, at the front though, things were much simpler for the turquoise car. No, unfortunately, this was not a last corner battle. This was the car that was a lap down. This car that went tumbling across the grass. Had to go to the pits to get itself fixed. Yeb started at the front, escaped while there was that huge battle going on for second for a couple of laps. There could have been a very, very close battle. We were setting fairly similar lap times, but the distance he'd managed to pull on us while we were all fighting, and I got broken, and yeah, it was a shame. There could have been a potentially really close race, as it was fairly straightforward for the turquoise car. Made no mistakes apart from after once the driver tire takes control, yeah, went straight into the wall, but before that made no mistakes and would go on to take victory. Race number 2 would go to the Yas Marina, one of the alternate layouts. I can never remember the name of the alternate layouts. I was back in my usual grid position, right at the back, and there would be all manner of struggles going on at turn 1, not helped by, as you can see, some more of the lag. I did do quite well. I managed to avoid all of the first lap shenanigans somehow, despite being sort of right in the mix down there as we come through the next corners. These are some really fast corners as everybody sort of sorts themselves out, all sweeping around the outside of a green Mustang. Yeah, these corners with the Mustangs were quite scary, and lag continued to be a pain as I had a pink Mustang throwing directly at me. It was a real problem and a real shame with these cars. I was trying to go around the outside of this green Mustang. The green car was one of the utter power monsters, so through the turns you could easily get past it. I had a very long range look at the car in front. He braked quite a lot earlier than I was expecting. We all got through there absolutely safely though, and then we have the speed. The speed of that green Mustang is absolutely phenomenal. My car is a pretty quick one, but it is no match for the green Mustang that goes soaring past. However, of course, he doesn't have the brakes, he doesn't have the grip. I am stuck on the outside as we go through turn 1 and turn 2. I'm bouncing across the curbs trying to make sure that I give him space. I end out a little bit too wide, have a massive moment across the curbs. That's not what you want to be doing with these particular cars. I somehow just about managed to gather it up as we go too wide into the very fast corners, but I have the grip through here. The green Mustang can't do anything about it. There's a purple car getting involved now as the vehicle is struggling to get it turned through these corners, and sure enough, the purple car has got himself alongside. Yeah, the power vehicles were slightly struggling through here. I would unfortunately suffer a nasty laggy spin that would drop me back. I didn't break the car, but would drop me back through the order. The green Mustang would carry on his march through the order and would start irritating the car in 4th place. But the second they got to the straight, the green vehicle would soar past, and then the black Mustang was having to do everything he could to try and find a way back past through the rest of the lap, trying to get to the inside as they run down here. And of course, they've started fighting each other. The rest of the pack behind them is beginning to catch up. The green car is almost sliding all the way through there. It just doesn't have the brakes though. The black Mustang can have a big dive into the next corner, and there's nothing the green vehicle can do to stop that in the background. The purple and the blue car are having a little bit of an argument over the position, and now a very American Mustang has caught up to the group that was another one of the power monsters. Yeah, the poor car in fourth was getting absolutely mugged the second we came to a straight. These two soaring past him by the time they get to the braking zone, but they started fighting each other, and they start fighting each other. That helps the cars behind again, because they're now even slower trying to go too wide through these first corners. And the black Mustang says he'll have that, thank you very much, and gets the pair of them in one corner. These guys were fighting each other so much that despite me pointing backwards on the second lap, you can see I'm now in the background. I caught up to this group so quickly as they started chopping and changing positions. The green car goes hugely sideways. The American car briefly got the place back, would be instantly outturned through the next corner, and again they just continue to fight each other. And yeah, my car was really quick around this track. Very quickly caught back up to the tail end of this group, and it continued like this. The black car would get them back through the turns, and then the second we came to a straight, the two power monsters would get the position and sort of drive away. And again, after a couple of laps, it was still going on like this. Unfortunately, it would all go wrong as the American Corvette gets a tag, and everybody kind of all trying to check up and avoid all of the carnage. Amazingly, trying to fit four incredibly powerful Mustangs into one piece of road. It could have ended a lot badly. It could have ended a lot worse, sorry, than that one. It was unfortunate for the poor black Mustang. Kind of got caught up in the middle as everybody was sort of trying to avoid the spinning cars. Yeah, little bit of a scrappy moment, but yeah, amazing that we all managed to sort of survive that particular bit. Yeah, me being well and truly back in the fight here was trying to get away past the American car. He just sort of ran a little bit wide, not having the grip through these turns. Would accelerate me down towards this double apex corner, but just no grip from that thing. I tried to get up the inside. A little bit of lag scares the crap out of me. Can't quite do it there. I was hoping to have a dive up the inside. In the end, I needn't have worried. He got on the curb, got a bit sideways, couldn't stop the car sliding, and that would give me, amazingly, I think it's fourth position that I had planned to, despite pointing backwards at one point in this race. Yeah, I was pretty happy to have worked my way back up to fourth. But at the front, it was a Mustang, funnily enough, that was going to take victory. At the front, the top three were sort of relatively close-ish, but not really much happened after the first lap. These guys all got to the front, drove away. You can just about see in the background there, second place. I was setting similar lap times to the leader. My car was really good here. I just got a bit unfortunate. Admittedly, after I'd spun, I got a bit of clear air, but yeah, there was a little bit unfortunate. Again, lag was being a pain, and it would be a pain in the third and final race at Road America, where I think 6 cars went out in turn 1. And when I say went out, were just utterly destroyed at the first corner through a combination of somebody missing the braking point and then lag catapulting everybody into the already fairly sizable accident. Yeah, it was it was a little bit of a show. I love this track. It's one of my favourite of the race circuits, one of my favourite of the alternate circuits. It just, yeah, it didn't go well. Lag was being a real pain, and of all the cars to pick to have bad laggy moments, these are probably some of the most difficult vehicles. That I mean, there were quite a few of these that were putting out 800 plus horsepower in A class. So yeah, this was not a good place to be having laggy moments. About 6 of us survived the first quarter without any damage. A lot more were broken. The cars at the front were trying to go 3 wide. I ended up understeering off, trying to carry a bit too much speed. Yeah, we were all determined to still fight. There may have only been a few of us left in the race, but we were still going to fight for the top positions as it goes too wide down towards the hairpin. Car on the inside runs very deep into that, trying to make it 3 wide again on the exit. Yeah, these are not really cars you want to be going 3 wide with. The blue car trying to go all the way around the outside, that is a long way to go. Around there, he manages to get it done. That is a tough place to get an overtake done in that particular manner. This black car, though, very quick in a straight line, can't get it stopped. A little bit of lag going on, and again, we see the cars across the grass. The bump in turn 1 is horrible. In these Mustangs, though, it wasn't as bad as we have seen in some of the sort of small lightweight cars. It really chucks them about. These being a bit larger, a bit heavier, is not quite as terrible in. I've now caught back up to the group after my off on lap 1. Was going 2 wide. I managed to get past the black and turquoise car. There's another big lockup, car sliding in the background. I end up off the track trying to avoid getting myself in trouble here. It was quite a crazy first lap, despite only being a small number of cars still surviving. It was good fun, I have to say. The first lap was, first couple of laps were rather exciting. It very quickly became a three-way battle for the lead. This grey car having managed to survive the opening chaos and pull a little bit away, and me and the blue car caught up quite rapidly. You can see the graveyard of broken cars at turn 1. I tried to go around the outside of the blue vehicle, didn't make it stick, kind of got sort of tangled up, caught up behind the grey car. Dark blue vehicle getting the overtake done around that first corner. Difficult place to overtake the first turn here. Very, very narrow, and again, as I said, the bump, quite a dangerous thing, so you definitely have to be careful. I saw the car kind of lagging about behind me, got slightly scared, ended up giving him far too much space and promptly drove myself off the off the road. Wasn't too worried. I knew my car, as it was at Yas Marina, it was very, very fast. Again, my Mustang build was good around this circuit. I saw the grey car running a little bit too wide on the exit of that corner. I could get my car up the inside, and that promoted me up into second place. Just had to be a little bit careful. He didn't try coming back, was just too far back after coming up the hill, and yeah, I could manage to hold on to that second place. Further back, this was over fourth position between the two of the black Mustangs. The black and turquoise car, much more of a handling vehicle, while the solid black one, all of the straight line speed. Turquoise car just lined him up as they came through that very fast corner. Just so much more grip, could pull up alongside, and much better under brakes as well, simply outbrake him around the outside. The black car tried, but when you've got such a handling advantage at a circuit like this, it is quite difficult to defend. There's only a couple of really long straights to really make up any time on. It wasn't long before I was on the back of the leader, trying to find my way past, going for the spectacular around the outside. I don't think I've ever got an overtake around the outside there successfully. That is a really nasty corner. I tried it. I knew my car had the better grip of the two of them, so it was worth a try. Couldn't quite make it stick, and now it's just about being patient. You know, no need to do anything too silly. I had plenty of laps to find a way past. I didn't want to go kind of crazy. And when you see the car in front of you going that sideways through the one of the longest corners on the circuit, that was a slightly scary moment. I had managed to get past. I then probably threw it all away, managing to outbrake myself into turn 1 and pretty much gifting the position straight back to the dark blue car. Yeah, it's so easy to outbrake yourself in these vehicles. Mine was a relatively good car for handling wise. They are not the most cooperative vehicles. Made for an interesting challenge, certainly. Sort of building the car as one of the cars that was killed at the start of the race. Everybody did a very good job of getting out of the way of the leaders in this one. I have to say thank you to everybody with struggling cars. They did a great job of diving out of the way when vehicles were coming past to lap them. I was still trying to line up this blue Mustang, find a way past. I knew where my car was good, and it was through this section. Unfortunately, I got kind of a really good run at the wrong point. Couldn't quite get it up the inside. I figured if I could stick it around the outside here, get the run off the turn, be on the inside after we crest the hill, I could get the position and give the blue car no way to fight back at me. And sure enough, I got the maneuver just about done. It was a little bit close. The dark blue car almost managed to keep it on the inside. Just didn't quite have the grip, couldn't quite get the traction off the corner, and I would manage to promote myself up into first place. Again, just always a little bit wary of turning, especially when you see the car lagging and jumping around like that. Wasn't quite sure, but yeah, and then promptly we came up towards, we tried to carry too much speed into this really long corner, and both of us fell off the road. I got carried away, and then he followed me straight off the track, which was rather amusing. Anyway, after both of our little rallycross session, I would get my vehicle back on track. Not much else would happen elsewhere. The few cars that were still going were quite spread out, and I would go on to take victory with the orange Mustang. Yeah, it was, and then all the driver tires have a crash. It was a real shame about the lag. These cars were a bit different, a bit more of a challenge than certainly some of the vehicles. The last few I've been kind of sticking with low classes, and I think there could have been some really good racing. Unfortunately, yeah, the servers decided that was not going to be the case. There was still, amazingly, despite all the lag and so on, there was still some good racing in there. It is, yeah, just a little bit of a shame that it didn't quite work out how I had hoped. But there we go. Things happen, unfortunately, with internet gaming. Anyway, that is it for this week's FailRace versus the community. The next one shall be held on Thursday, the 16th of July. We shall be going back to Horizon 2. We're going to be playing some B-class playground games, so Tag, Infected, and so on. I haven't done one of them for a while, and they're always good fun to mess around with. So, yeah, whatever car in B-class. If you want to sign up and take part, then you can go to our forums. There will be a link in the description. Find the FailRace versus the community section, and sign up is in there. But that is it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.